When it comes to writing lyrics, I feel like you either got it or you don't got it, but if you don't got it, how do you get it? Now, I found 3 steps that really help me write my songs much faster, and more importantly, it actually helps me finish it. And it's because it serves as more of a guide for almost any subject matter. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Nefertiti Gold, and I'm an electronic R&B artist. On this channel, you'll find videos on gear and plugin reviews, beat videos, and as of recently, more songwriting and arrangement videos similar to this one. Today's video is sponsored by DistroKid, but more on that later on. So I personally think that the chorus tends to be the easiest part to write. And that's simply because it tends to be the catchiest part of the song, and it doesn't always require the most complicated songwriting. And of course, this will definitely vary based on the subject matter or from genre to genre. I find that my hardships mostly come from trying to create a cohesive story around these random choruses. And most importantly, finishing them. So for the purpose of this video, we're going to talk about the chorus first, and then we're going to get into the 3-step guide. Now, of course, you don't always have to start with the chorus. It's just that that tends to be what I start with. This video will help you no matter which part of the song that you end up starting with. Now, when it comes to the chorus, there are 2 questions that you want to aim for your chorus to answer. The first question is, what is the core idea? This can be as specific or as vague as you want. And this is because if you choose to go with something a little bit more vague, you can always give context to the chorus based off of what you end up writing in your verses. Now, if you take a listen to my latest single, WTG, you'll hear that the main chorus is a bit of a gray area where it's kind of specific, but it could be interpreted as vague as well. The next question that you want your chorus to answer is, what does your song revolve around? Does it revolve around a place, an object? Does it revolve around you or maybe someone else in your story? In WTG, I chose to have the chorus revolve around myself and basically the way that I'm feeling, which is kind of a state of being lost and trying to find myself. So with that said, let's get into the 3 steps. Now keep in mind, these steps will naturally align with the verses of your song. So step 1, the setup. This is more than likely going to always be the first verse. And this is where you are setting up the situation or you're setting up the scene. Your goal here is to essentially create the world that you want your listener to be in. You can do this by either describing the environment around you, or you can choose to describe how you're feeling and what your state of mind is. In my song, I chose to set up the scene by describing how I feel. Now, before we move on to step 2 and 3, I want to quickly shout out today's sponsor, DistroKid. DistroKid is a digital music distribution service that helps musicians get their music on streaming platforms such as Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, and so much more. DistroKid also keeps track of any new streaming service that might pop up and will automatically add your music once they become available. Now, DistroKid recently released their brand new iOS app. Now, with the app, you can actually upload your new releases right through your phone. You can view and share hyperfollow links, and you can even add and edit lyrics. Now, if you're ready to start getting your music out there, go ahead and use my link in the description below for 7% off your first year. So, step 2. This is where you're going to take step 1 and explain what effect it had. Now, this effect could be on you as a singer or an effect that it had on someone or something else in your story. For WTG, I chose to dive into the effect that it had on me and how I felt, how taken back I was, how shocked I was at this person's behavior, and essentially how lost I ended up becoming. I just never thought that you'd be this time. All those nights and all those fights. Never thought I'd end up losing sight of all my mind because of you. By the way, if you are enjoying this video and you find value in it, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And now for step 3, which is figuring out how to deal. So you have your situation, you've told the audience how it affected you. Now it's time to basically decide how you're going to deal with this or how the situation is going to be dealt with. Now, are you giving up? Are you going to triumph over everything that's happened? Of course, this part of the song is going to be dependent on how you're writing your story. Now, if you're writing more of an upbeat, happy song, this portion of your song is going to be a little bit different than maybe a subject matter that's a little bit more on the somber side. Choose what's best for you and what you're writing. Now, for the bridge of WTG, I decided to tell the audience what I needed to get back to myself, that I am done with this toxic situation, and most importantly, that I'm not going back. I chose to repeat this a second time because I wanted it to mimic something similar to an affirmation, and affirmations are meant to be repeated so that it can manifest an outcome.
I want my flow back, I want my soul back, don't wanna go back, I don't know. I want my flow back, I want my soul back, don't wanna hold back, I don't know.
Let me know in the comments below if you've come across other methods that help you write your songs faster and push the story along. Or let me know which parts you tend to get stuck on, and I'll see you in the next video.